Now, our lead this hour coming from the Valley of the Sun. Play the hits, my man. Play the hits. And that's pro football, and that's where the Christmas tripleheader ended. And I don't know if you were watching any of this or not, but the headline here, Tom Brady and the Buccaneers by the skin on their chinny chin chin, getting it done. Brady completed all 6 of his passes in overtime, which I guess made up for the rest of the game. And the Buccaneers overcame a 10-point deficit to the third-string quarterback of the Cardinals. And they come back and tie it in the fourth. They win it in overtime, 19-16, and continue to have a one-game lead in the NFC South. Ryan Suckup, who must have been abused when he was in school. We say that every time we hear the name, Ryan Suckup, but he hit the 40-yard field goal with less than 4 minutes to go in overtime, and that capped off a 9-play, 66-yard drive, the 57th game-winning drive for Tom Brady in his career. Arizona drops to a miserable 4-11. They lose their 5th straight game now. Tampa Bay snaps a 2-game skid. The Buccaneers, a game under 500, and they stay ahead of Carolina and New Orleans in the NFC South. The conversation begins now. Let us discuss the question on this one. Does Tom Brady still qualify as an elite quarterback? How can you say that, Ben? Come on now. The Buccaneers won the game. What's wrong with you? You can't even question Tom Brady. Well, yeah, you can question Tom Brady. It's not week 4. It's not week 6. It's not week 7. We're pretty much dunskies with the NFL regular season. There's only a couple of weeks to go, and you got to look at where Tom Brady is right now. So I've got Procter & Gamble, salads, and Alley. And we will connect all of these things together, and we are going to make leftovers, which is what you'll probably be eating later on Monday. Leftovers. Now, first of all, the Buccaneer offense is not only an offense, it is offensive. It is painful to watch this team play on offense. Tom Brady, I get that he has the Lifetime Achievement Award. We are aware of that. There is such a thing as a Lifetime Achievement Award, and the accolades are impeccable for Tom Brady, and gets a lot of love, and rightfully so. However, you have to separate the macro from the micro, and in a snapshot of this season, the stars have not aligned for Tom Brady. They have not. And you might want to spread the word here and let people know, because Tom Brady, he needs a new sponsorship here. He was in that FTX game. That was a scam. Good job by Brady. That's why he's getting sued up the wazoo. But he needs a new partner here. Maybe Procter & Gamble can step in, get a couple of sticks of that Old Spice deodorant there, because, man, oh, man, Brady is a lot of stinkage through the balance of these games. The body odor. Wee, P.U. What stinks? That would be Tom Brady and the passing offense for the Buccaneers. Now, oops, it happened again. The pendulum going the wrong way. We saw it in a second-rate Cardinal defense. Tom Brady gets the victory and the celebration. People all gaga because of the overtime touchdown drive. But really? Did you watch the game? Tell me you didn't watch the game. If you have that take, you're a dum-dum, and you clearly did not watch the game here. Because for the balance of the day, Tom Brady, stop the presses, was standing in quicksand. All right, now he ended up, the 48 pass attempts for Brady, averaged less than 6 yards per attempt. He's been that way most of the year. The average NFL baseline stat for a quarterback is 7 yards per attempt. Brady, in this game, 5.9, 2 interceptions, and a passer rating below 72. And he needed to go to overtime to squeeze past Trace McSorley, whoever that is, the third-string quarterback of the Cardinals. Now, secondly, why are so many people in denial? They're sound asleep about Tom Brady and his overall performance this season. Now, I know a lot of people are sound asleep right now because of the time we're talking, but the answer to the question here, it's all about the status. I keep going back to that. That's the answer. It's an Occam's razor situation. The simplest answer is the right answer. When you have a special place in the orthodoxy of football, the lords of the manor and the aristocrats will bend over backward to defend your honor, cooking up all kinds of special salads, word salads, to rationalize a worrisome performance. Now, for the first 3+ quarters of this particular game on Sunday night, Chris Collinsworth was using all kinds of verbal shortcuts and salesman-like stretches to rationalize and defend a TB12. And it is a reminder that prestige is really powerful, right? It's great. However, it does not help you perform at the moment. It certainly helps you get endorsements. It helps TV people give you a mani and a pedi and suck your toes and all that. But my goodness, if you did a blindfolded side-by-side taste test of performance by quarterbacks, Tom Brady would not pass. He would not pass. If you didn't know the resume and you just merely looked in the moment, you would say, "Woo, man, that does not taste well. That is foul. It's not right." And Brady continues to be cracked, torn, scratched, and deformed, as you would expect a quarterback in his mid-40s. Now, he does have 21 touchdowns on the year, 9 interceptions, which isn't all that impressive. It's stunning. It's not worse than that. And you look at the Buccaneers, and it's been a wild ride, Mr. Toad's wild ride, and everyone's waiting for them to kick it into high gear. And you keep waiting and waiting and waiting, and they're going to polish this up, and it hasn't happened. And the fact that they only win this game by a field goal in overtime against the third-string quarterback of a dog food Cardinal team is a disgrace, an absolute disgrace. If I owned the Cardinals, I'd fire Todd Bowles right now. What are you doing?
Garbage.
The Buccaneers, Trace McSorley. That's a terrible Cardinal team. They also, in this season, the Buccaneers barely got by the 5-10 Rams, lost to the Jacoby Brissett Browns, P.J. Walker and the Panthers, and also the Steelers with Mitch Trubisky. Holy Toledo, Batman. Yikes. Now, if you are the opposition down the line in a prospective playoff game, right now it would be the Dallas Cowboys would match up at the end of the rainbow in the playoffs. But it doesn't matter whether it's Cowboys. It most likely is going to be Dallas. But if whoever ends up playing the Bucs, should they get in the playoffs and not gag this thing away, that is a great mitzvah. And if you don't beat the Buccaneers, whoever you are, you should fire your coach and get rid of your quarterback because, my God, well, I mean, this is the perfect team, the perfect elixir in a postseason environment. Now, meanwhile, final thought, we'll spend a quick second on a really brutal franchise, an embarrassment, the Arizona Cardinals. Now, it used to be fun to pick on the Cardinals because people thought they were going to be good, and we always loved to point out, well, no, they're not. No, well, they're not that good. Now it's just a new level of humiliation. The participation trophy for Arizona, they battled. It's great. You get a little extra, like orange at the end there, some orange slices. And, of course, this is not Pop Warner football. You don't get credit for that. Now, Coach Cliff Kingsbury is described as being miserable. I see that report recently that he's miserable in Arizona, and the speculation machine getting cranked up and saying that Kingsbury may end up just quitting on the Cardinals and walking away from the desert altogether and saying, that's it, I'm done, I'm out of here. So the question here is buy or sell that Cliff Kingsbury, the runway model, will resign as Arizona's field general at the end of the season. So I am going to sell that. I'm not going to buy it. Now, that doesn't mean that Kingsbury is going to return, but just bear with me here. I'm a big believer in no matter how awkward things are, no matter how uncomfortable things are, There is a carrot at the end of the stick that would provide enough good vibrations to have you continue on, and that is the guaranteed money. You don't walk away from the guaranteed money. Now, the likelihood of Kingsbury quitting, as the report speculated, of course, the report also speculated he could continue as coach, he could be fired, or he could quit. But the meat of it that got attention was that Kingsbury was going to resign as coach. So the odds of that are very minuscule. Outside of being independently wealthy, it's foolish to even think about that. The first rule of business is once something is given to you, you don't give it back. You don't leave the moolah sitting on a table somewhere. And we highly doubt that the frugal Cardinals, the house of cards, which has come tumbling down here, would pay Kingsbury in full if he resigns. So if that's the case, why would you? Why would they? And why would you? Which means that you will continue on. It's not a viable option. Now, if they do end up at loggerheads in a blind alley at impasse, you can always work it out. In Arizona, we tried to tell them, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. They said, no, we know better than you. You're just an overnight guy. What do you know? And they said, we commit to Mighty Mouse. We commit to the Oompa Loompa. How's that working out? The franchise quarterback, pint-sized QB with alligator arms. Total fraud, as we anticipated he would end up being. And he's likely going to miss a big chunk at best of the 2023 season. But will the Cardinals let the smallest guy in the locker room change coaches? You've got kickers that are bigger than this guy. Now, the good news is that Alligator Arms Murray he's improved, I understand. I was talking to somebody in Arizona. They were telling me how he's really good at video games. He's gotten even better now since he got hurt. But something's going to change. The Cardinals, over their last 14 home games, last 14 home games are 1-13. It is a bad product. Boy, oh boy, is it a bad product in the Valley of the Sun.